Mark my words. We will strike back.
What's up guys, it's Naff here. So today I just wanted to share my experience doing the 500 Zamorak kills in Godwars Dungeon 1. So I thought I'd just run the clips of all the drops in the background whilst I talk about it. So the goal was to get as much tier 70 as possible, and I also did really want to get a Zamorakian spear so I could do Corporal Beast at some point. And I really would have liked the pet, as the Zamorak pet's probably one of my favourite boss pets in the game. Now in regards to my strategy, I was using Fire Wave at first. Then I decided to swap to Blood Barrage simply because it did provide additional healing when I did let auto attacks go off. And both counted as fire spells, which Krill is weak to, and I had a lot of blood runes from Barrows, so I didn't see a reason why not. Now in terms of auras, there were 3 different auras I was switching between every trip, as I never extended an instance and would leave after 1 hour if I managed to actually last that long. Now the 3 auras I were using were Penance, Vampirism, and Greater Runic Accuracy, which is the tier 2 aura. With Vampirism, I was lasting a full hour, as long as I didn't get really unlucky with the Super Restore drops from Krill, and I could keep my prayer up. The second most useful aura was the Penance aura. Having Penance pretty much meant I never ran out of prayer, even if I was actually failing with my kiting and he was hitting me with his special and sapping my prayer. I still wasn't running out, but I usually wouldn't last an hour if I ran out of food. You did get a lot of food drops off of the minions. They did drop a lot of tuna, potato, and sharks, but if you did get unlucky and you got none of those drops, I wouldn't be able to last an hour. Now, I didn't actually notice too much benefit from Greater Runic Accuracy. Now, this is probably because I had a tier 80 staff and had enough accuracy to reliably hit Krill. Now, if you did have a tier 70 staff or even a tier 60, if you were pushing your luck, you would probably notice a lot of benefit from the aura then, especially if you're using tier 60. Now, as previously mentioned, the method I used to kill the boss was kiting. For those who don't know, that's where you run around the edges of the room and attack the boss with abilities so you don't stop running. Based on my experience, this was done easier by being on manual mode and turning off auto retaliate. Otherwise, if I didn't, my character was sometimes turning around to attack the boss and therefore not moving, which allowed Krill to get closer to me and would occasionally result in him using special attacks on me, which is where he hits you for between about 2 to 5k and he would drain your prayer. So it's not what you wanted, and that's why the kiting method exists, because you can continually keep running and you mainly just take damage from the minions, and he doesn't you can not get special attacked an entire kill, so it pretty much bypasses that whole mechanic. It just means you have to spam your mouse the whole time, as in clicking where you're going to go, and you have to be manually pressing the abilities. Now, my first trip, I did actually try face tank Krill in the corner with Vamp. That's just because that's the way I used to do it many years ago, back when I used to do Krill as a noob, say 7 or 8 years ago, and more recent times on my main with Soul Split, I just sit in the corner. So that's what I tried first instinctively. It didn't go well. I did only last for 3 kills, and that was with Vampirism as well. So it's definitely worth it to do the kiting method, unless you are very against clicking and you don't want to be spam clicking, or you have, say, Soul Split or T90 gear. If you're in that position, then you can probably still face tank in the corner and not have too many issues. This boss also does drop a lot of effigies. Since I'm an Ironman though, I can't actually receive assistance from other players to help complete the 4 stages to receive the end XP lamp from the effigy. So essentially what that meant was when I hit the cap, which is 5, I had to go hand them in at the Varrock Museum. Now doing that gives you an XP lamp, but it's a lot less XP than a usual effigy lamp would be. It actually only gives 5k experience in a skill of your choosing, but given I hit the cap, it was definitely worth doing. Following that, I still got another 4. So I think the total amount of effigies I did get doing Krill was 8. So it's very good, 8 in 500 kills. It is a very good rate, especially if you do compare it to something like Slayer, which you would think is a good source of effigies, but not compared to PVMing. So if you are an Iron Man looking to get War Priest and don't want to grind the small monsters outside of the boss rooms, I would highly recommend you try Krill. He can be done at pretty low levels because of this kiting method, and I did get the full War Priest set very quickly from himself and the minions. Now most of these kills were done after the Ring of Wealth update, which recently happened, So I did swap out my lunar ring for a ring of wealth, but I actually didn't notice a difference at all in terms of unique drops and standard. Everything seemed pretty much the same. So after about 400 kill count, my chaotic staff, which was at 100%, actually ran out of charges completely. So it meant I had to go actually do gargoyles and earn gold to have that recharge, which was rather disappointing. Now, in terms of those wondering about my setup, I was using an Arim's top and Arim's legs and everything else lunar with a chaotic staff. And I slowly swapped that all out for the subjugation bits I was getting as drops. Now, based on what I've looked up, this kiting method, which works at Krill, works very similar at Bandos, killing General Grador, and killing General Ziliana, which is Saradomin. So I'll probably be looking to do that in the near future. Now, in terms of other Iron Men, I don't recommend you do this with anything lower than a tier 70 staff, or tier 60 if you do have an accuracy aura and stat boosting potions. Armor isn't as important, anything above Batwing should be suitable. I personally wasn't using any magic potions, as I don't have any. I was just using Monkfish, about 4 prayer pots, and an anti-poison. Now, I highly recommend taking Vampirism if you have it or can afford to buy it with loyalty points. Otherwise, whatever best combat aura you do have, as it made a massive difference for me personally in regards to how many kills I could get per trip. Now, in terms of familiars, I was taking one War Tortoise pouch to resummon it when I was about to die, and a Bunyip. Now, I was very rarely actually using the Bunyip. Most of the time my food would remain in the turtle and my instance would end. So I would recommend at least a Terror Bird if you're going to be doing this. I don't think a Bunyip's required, but a Terror Bird or better, just to have that extra food with you. Okay, so our 500 Zamorak kills are now complete. So I was pretty happy with that. It did only take me a little over 2 days, which I was very happy with considering the Barrow's 500 chests took me about a week. So I was pretty happy with getting that done so quickly. Unfortunately did not get the pet. I was very sad not to see that severed hoof drop, but oh well, can only dream in the future. I'll eventually get a bossing pet. Now having a look at the loot, the top tab is everything I did get during my Zamorak kills. Now the 468k isn't all I got. I was using the coins I was getting from Zamorak to pay for more instances, unfortunately. So it isn't the exact amount, but there's not much I could have done about that. Now the total of all these items, not including the alkables, is 17 mil. I will take out all the alkables I did get from Zamorak and alch them, and add that to the total. Okay, so there we go. That is all the items out. That is 1.7 mil just from all the alkables. So adding that to the gold pile, it makes an exact 220k. So that does bring our total loot to about 19.5 mil, which is pretty cool. And not to mention, the supplies I got were also good. Tuna potato is probably the best food I have now, and as an Iron Man, it's convenient to be able to get pretty good food. And same with the potions. On that note, I also got full War Priest. And before this video, I had none of the Zamorak War Priest set, and I hadn't had any full set at all. So now I do, so that's pretty cool as well. Looking pretty good. Not to mention as well, I did get about 5 magic levels, I believe. It's probably going to be my first 99 just because I like to magic a lot of things and I have a chaotic staff. So this is my loot from 500 Zamorak kills. Okay, and thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for another PVM video very soon. I'm hoping to get stuck into some Bandos or Saradomin. I'm not too sure yet, but stay tuned and you'll find out.